Welcome into another episode of the Patriots podcast. I'm Sean with Ryan and JJ.
Hello. What's up?
We are here to talk about the Patriots' third victory of the 2024
Let's
season,
go.
exceeding
Yeah.
expectations.
Woo!
We might have, I don't know what our over-under win total was, but it was pretty close to 3.
I think it was 4. I think we're all around 4.
I think I picked 5
Wow.
and 12. I can't remember. We'd have to go back and look at it, but
We're ahead of schedule.
Yeah.
going away against a 500 team that is in, I would say, disarray now. The last
Shit
2 weeks
show.
they lost to, was it the Commanders they lost the week before?
2 weeks ago they did, and then they got smacked by the Cardinals last week.
Right. That's
and
right.
then this week they laid down to the Patriots. I mean, my major takeaway from this, and I have a couple about the Pats coaching staff, but the major takeaway was Chicago was so god awful
Awful.
that I don't take away that many positives from our play.
Yeah.
But the decisions that you could see the coaching staff making, that was the encouraging part on our side.
I agree. For me, the biggest thing was the play calling on defense. Where has this blitz heavy package picking on a beat up offensive line been? Where was that against some of these teams that have
Very
been banged up?
Brian Flores-esque, right?
I mean, yeah, plenty of linebacker blitzes where you're not leaving these guys in coverage all day. Their offensive line could not adjust. They lost their guard in this game. They're down their 3 top tackles. Darnell Wright, who was their first round pick last year, the previous year, and Braxton Jones, who's good tackle, good left tackle, and Kieran Amagaji, who went to Yale, who I liked in the draft, kind of second, third round area as a project.
Rookie this year.
Mhm.
Rookie this year. I mean, they had their center looked fucking awful, dude.
We weren't even running crazy stunts, and they just had no idea. If you sent 5 guys, didn't matter to them. We're getting there free. There was one when that was the Dolphins game. Never mind. They had a TE stunt that the decoy was the one that got the sack. But how about Brendan Schooler? How cool was that to see them put him in? I mean, his whole job is pursuit in the open field in special teams. And they're like, why don't you play middle linebacker and just pursue in the open field on defense? I'm not asking you to cover anybody.
I mean,
just run down and tackle.
And he did all right there. You know, it was a good play. I mean, they had 9 sacks overall. So
the highest total since
God knows when.
Well, it's been like 20 years since we've.
I mean, and it wasn't even like, yeah, you're right. They weren't running a lot of stunts or anything crazy. We were just beating guys. I want to say Anthony Jennings on one of his sacks was just not touched. They just didn't even put blockers on certain people. So
they did. They tried to roll the pocket out to the left, and the whole right side of the offensive line didn't block anyone.
And Anthony Jennings ran right in and beat up Caleb Williams. I mean, he took a ton of hits, and I'm very happy about the win. One none of us were expecting, but it's just the Bears were awful.
Yeah,
I mean, those
bad.
sacks he was taking, and they've got weapons on the outside. They weren't really scheming anything up. Obviously, their offensive coordinator got fired today. So
I called that in the third quarter of this game. I was like,
he's going to get fired.
They're going to fire this offensive coordinator.
I thought it was going to be Eberflus.
I did too. I thought it was someone's getting fired.
And really, the way these guys are playing and like their body language and the things DJ Moore's been saying in the press conferences,
just all snowballed.
I don't know if that's down to just offensive coordinator. That sounds like your head coach has a major part in that too. Caleb Williams moved around a bit. They try to. It's tough when your offensive line is that banged up to try to get cute with your schemes, try to move the quarterback around, try to zone block. That's tough, man. You got to have some continuity to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
They
but
also had no running game to speak
yeah,
of.
that was our
I
best
mean,
run defense performance of the year, I think.
yeah.
It's up there.
And I mean, it wasn't even like it was that bad. They just didn't go to it. They had, what, 18 running back carries.
It's good to
And
get ahead in the
Yeah.
game too. That really helped us
yeah,
in that capacity. And I thought the secondary, I mean, there was really good pressure, and that helps everything. I thought Christian Gonzalez was fucking awesome in this game. Marcus Jones had a handful of plays, especially in run defense. Marcus
mm-hmm.
Jones coming up, getting his nose dirty. But yeah, all that A gap, B gap pressure all game. I mean, it's something we've been calling for and we haven't seen. And I hope this is a turning point for at least DeMarcus Covington in like a play calling capacity. Let
Yeah.
these guys get after it. Taki was in there a little bit. I mean, they're down too. When you look at their safeties, you're starting Pettis and Del Pettis, who had a sack, and
And
actually had a
Hawkins.
couple plays, and Hawkins, who's not very good.
Pettis looked a lot better than Hawkins has
Yeah,
He
looked.
did.
yeah, he
Yeah,
looks
he
fast.
did. He
His
was in the
How
develop,
right.
would
And he was in the right place at the right time. That's really the big one. I don't even
you,
care if you're fast as a safety. You have to know who to go to. And he
yeah.
seemed to kind of at least grasp that concept.
You know, the guy
especially
that jumped out to me was Joe Giles Harris. I was like, who's this number 44?
44.
Who's
I
who's
had
a fast inside linebacker who's
no
covering sideline to
idea who he
sideline?
was. Yeah.
Yeah. Joe Giles Harris. I had to look it up.
Ryan, yeah, I texted and Ryan was like, I think it's Joe Giles Harris.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes they
I thought
change
he
their
looked
Forgot about
numbers
great.
him.
too. When they get off the practice squad, they change their
Right.
numbers. It gets a little confusing. But
44 as a linebacker has always confused me in general.
I
Oh,
mean,
it's the
dude,
best linebacker
fucking
number.
Taki's wearing 16. Like
Yeah,
it's just
and that's terrible.
I can't get used to that kind of shit. And then they got Mapu in there wearing I think 10. Does he wear 10?
He wears 15.
Third
15? Does he wear 15?
15.
15.
Gosh. Yeah, 15 sounds right.
Tavai was good. Tavai was
Tava-
this might have been Tavai's best
He
game of the
had a good
season.
game. Jeremiah Farms showed up. I
Farms
mean,
played
they've been
great.
trying to get him in and show that he could do something. He had a good game. I mean, I think it's just a lot of our guys taking advantage of a significantly. I didn't think there could be a bit worse offensive line than ours, and theirs was terrible.
That's the
And
worst I've seen a line play in years, I feel
In
like.
years. Yeah, it was.
the crazy thing was their special
It's that
teams
bad.
put them in these great positions to
Situations,
start
yeah.
to start their drives. They were I think the first few drives they started in our territory, our 47, our 35, and then the 50-yard line. And then that's when they started to get like on their own. Dude, by the way, special teams, Joey Sly, you can't kick the ball in that target area.
I know.
Yeah, right.
I mean, he had a great
20
game.
yards.
He had a
Yeah,
great
good
game
game.
kicking, but I mean,
Field goals was.
yeah,
That's funny.
It's got to be a little bit better than that.
Did you guys see we picked up Yannick Ngakoue?
Yeah.
Does that fit our timeline? Like I just do not get that
Doesn't fit
pickup
anything.
at all.
No. Don't
You
get
want
it.
I mean, you just traded Josh Uche and you signed a guy that's been Josh Uche in his
Literally.
career. That's it. And he gets run out of town everywhere he goes. He will not spend a second year with the team.
Well, I mean, he's
Makes
going to
no
be
sense.
expiring. I don't know what we're paying him.
Probably
Can't be-
nothing. But it's a
We're
good
paying
point.
Uche anything.
You're right. That's the thing. It is an interesting point that you traded to your. You basically had to give Josh Uche away to get rid of him. A 6th round pick in 2 years, and then we signed Ngakoue, who is he's like a situational pass rusher at best these days.
Yeah.
It's a
So
weird
weird.
move.
All right, let's talk about the offense. So they went with the same offensive line that they had for a couple weeks before they got
Finally.
cute and decided to switch it up.
Right. Thank
Um,
God.
and they played solid. They played pretty good. Didn't get the running game going as well as we were hoping they would
But
figure it out. It was good enough.
Yeah, it came around. It's trending better.
Yeah. Well, I mean they ran the ball in 60% of their snaps. So it helped to play with the lead. It helped to be able to stick with it and
Yeah.
try to figure some things out that are going to work right there. They did what I noticed most about the passing game was that they were reading off of Hunter Henry. where they would run combination routes with Henry and
Yeah,
somebody else, and the defense was sinking on Henry because he's
every
been our
time.
number one target. And May was reading that well. He was finding the next guy. That's why Austin Hooper did so good. They
Right.
they played off each other a lot.
Hmm.
So that was my big, hey, good job, offensive coaching staff. Way to use Hunter Henry like a chess piece out
Right.
there.
Exactly. Um, yeah, I mean, I thought overall offensively it was good enough. Clearly, we didn't score enough, and I think we'd been one of the better teams in the league. I heard
In the
at
red zone.
scoring in the red zone, right?
Yeah.
Red zone conversion percentage, which is shocking.
Highest in the league in like the last 4 weeks or something since
Which we
Drake
didn't
May's
get
been
there
starting.
much,
Yeah.
but that's credit to Drake May, but they didn't do it this game. You know, Drake had some really nice throws. He also got, he had a really bad pick early, and then he had a couple go through some guys' hands. So it could have been a lot worse for him, but I thought he played good enough where, a big pick didn't, the first pick could derail a passer and a young
Right.
guy and make him throw 4 picks, 5 picks in the game. Now there were two that could have been picked, but they were really hard thrown. He like rockets the ball on some of these, and maybe that's why they bounce off the
Yeah.
defensive players' hands. So it wasn't his best game in my mind, but he stuck it out. He got his first win, which is ironic. That is probably maybe his worst game that he's played with us, just because his decision making on some stuff we couldn't score in the running. He continues to run. He didn't run as much this game, but he went right into traffic on one where he got a great big run. It was like 15 yards. He got the first down. It was fantastic. And he knew he had a moment to slide, and he chose to dive in between two defenders, and
Yeah.
he
He
got
did it a couple times.
crushed.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, why are you doing that? So if he can learn those couple, that, and not think of those the try to be a little more accurate with his throwaways or whatever's going on with some of those balls that bounced off the defensive player's
Yeah.
hands. But I mean, he's a great kid. He's a lot easier to root for than Mac Jones.
Oh, he's got
That's
so
for
much.
damn sure,
His whole
right?
demeanor, his personality is like 100 times more likable than Mac Jones. This
Yeah,
kid
he's really easy to root for.
says all the right things. He's working hard. I absolutely loved his post game presser. We'll get into that after, but let's talk about the offense a little more. I thought Demontre Jacobs kind of nailed down that right tackle job. I thought he was the best offensive lineman in the game for us.
Which is
All
shocking.
game. He was really good in run. I don't think he allowed any sacks, but I think he allowed like 3 hurries the whole game. We could use that, man. Keep on Wenu where he's good at right guard. Stop messing with him. I think it's messed up his confidence a little bit. Pass protection could have been better. I didn't think it was very good on the whole. Run blocking was good, and that's what I've been waiting to see. Like get this run game going. Stevenson had some nice first down plays that really kept
Mm-hmm.
them out of long yardage, second and third. That goes so far, dude. I mean, he had a couple where it was like 9 yards on first down, a first down,
Yeah,
you know.
Stevenson had a really good game,
Yeah. I'd
or
like
a
to see
pretty good game, I should
like,
say.
like to see Gibson get a little more carries. I
Yeah,
saw that.
Hasty's definitely taken all his snaps.
And I
Gibson
can't
didn't get
stand
in
Hasty.
until like the very end of the game.
Right. Polk got in there. I think he only had one target.
Yeah, the touchdown.
Didn't notice him much, but he had that touchdown. It was really well executed play design.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of rolled out into the flat and easy touchdown. I mean, if he didn't catch that, we would have.
It was a pretty good catch. I mean, it was nearing the end of his extension
Yeah,
of where
Yeah.
he could reach. It was a
I
perfect
mean,
pass.
you got to catch that. You're in the NFL. You got to catch it. So,
I know. I'm feeling
who?
pretty good about our weapons. I'm feeling like people are finding their roles where Demario Douglas is filling that underneath yards
yep.
after catch role. We got two tight ends that are playmakers in the pass game, and then Booty is really developing into our intermediate to deep threat.
I mean,
And
he shows up every week. He
he
had one
does.
play that was called back for Onwenu being a legal man downfield. I think it was like a 15-yarder. And then
Yeah.
the very next play, he comes back and gets like a 10 or 11-yard drag for a first down. I mean, he's playing well, man, and it's hard to take him out. You want to see these kids.
I think he's our number one right now. He's not
He,
coming off the field.
He's
good. He shouldn't. He's
Yeah.
clearly
how many
our
snaps did he
best
get?
receiver.
He had 62 snaps. I don't think any receiver had even close to that.
No,
Um,
he's our true
it's
number
weird.
one.
They benched Kendrick Bourne. for the game. He dressed, but they didn't play him. And they said the reasoning was to get some young guys involved, but it's weird because KJ Osborne got 29 snaps, and I think he's roughly this. Maybe might be a little bit younger, but
He's like a year or two younger than Bourne.
but you just signed Bourne for 3 years, didn't you? So
yeah, it doesn't make any sense. And also, KJ Osborne shows up on the stat sheet with zeros, and he would have had a really nice touchdown, which was an incredible play by Drake May.
dude, I
got
thought
called back because he stepped out of bounds, which
dude,
is
that
clear that he stepped out of bounds. What, you're a veteran, you're supposed to know you can't step out of bounds and then jump back in. But whatever. What are you going to do?
It was tight quarters right there. I mean, that was a throwaway. I was 100% sure that was a throwaway until he came down with it.
There.
That's wow. One of those
crazy ass plays.
That's one of those Aaron Rodgers, 5 years ago, Josh Allen type of throws where you think he's just throwing it out of bounds, and nope, rocketing it in to the sideline. Yeah. I was shocked. I was like, oh fuck, was that a touchdown? And then I noticed KJ Osborne went out of bounds twice on that. Like, dude, come on, twice. But, if you're gonna go out of bounds, just stay out of bounds. Because you know what I mean?
Right. But like you're saying, right, Drake May has those plays. Like he did it last week against Tennessee to tie the game up, to go to overtime, running around, falling backwards, finding the open guy. You think he's just usually people just let those balls sail, and he fits it in those tight windows in the end zone, which we haven't had in a long time. Since Brady.
And it makes you think back. I mean, I remember doing this podcast when Josh Allen was a rookie, being like, that dude's going to get his head taken off. He's a walking turnover, all these things. And he learned, he developed, he honed his game. He's still got that playmaking ability, takes care of the ball and his body way better now. And I know he's a different size physically.
Right.
It's a level, but you see the same flashes.
No, and I mean, I'm obviously very biased against a Buffalo Bill player, but Josh Allen, I will say, he kind of Drake has some bad throws. The interception, the almost interceptions, they're not great throws, but he doesn't really send the ball sailing. He's not really overthrowing guys by Josh Allen, when he came in season 1, was just overthrowing guys by 25 yards. Like he had this arm that he didn't know what to do with yet. So in Josh Allen's a bigger, more physical guy, like you said. So I just feel like Drake might be even a little further along than Josh Allen was at that point.
And he's a year younger than Josh was.
He's a year younger than Josh. I mean, obviously, if I'm not saying he's going to become Josh Allen, but that'd be a pretty good comp. I mean, it's seemingly a decent comp for anyone in the NFL right now. Maybe a Justin Herbert, but not really.
Yeah, I see.
Herbert doesn't run.
I don't know if his running ceiling is as high as Josh Allen, but his passing certainly is. Whether he realizes that or not, I don't know. But I'll tell you one thing. He's got a great head on his shoulders.
Let's get in the presser.
That presser, man. To come out after, first thing, he's pumped for the defense. He's clapping. He says, everybody put your phones down.
And this is his first win, too. This is his personal first win.
Tells the media to clap it up, asks the media to clap it up for the defense. Only one person does it, Scott Zolak, of course. I was hoping it was Andrew Callahan, but no. Continues to give all these great, well thought out answers, very genuine, talking about how he asked Alex Van Pelt if he could address the team, address the offense.
Did you hear that report, John?
Nope.
So Alex Van Pelt says, of course, that's what we're looking for. Like, step up, earn the leadership. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he does that.
Well, he did it because practice was shitty all week. And he's like, I got to call these guys out.
Guys just kind of, and he said this, guys just kind of going through the motions, not, when you practice because that's what you're going to see in the game. And these things you're going to do in the game. And if you're going half speed, if you're not putting attention on the detail, then that's going to show up. Says some stuff like that. Somebody sneezes in mid-answer. He stops. Just thoughtful, God bless you in the middle of his answer. I thought it was one of the most impressive post-game pressers I've seen from a 22-year-old quarterback ever. Like, I loved it. I loved everything about it, man.
Hell
He's got the right stuff, man.
Mm-hmm.
And there you go. Another Josh Allen trait. Likable.
Very
Very
likable.
Likability.
likable. And the
Super
teammates
easy
like
to
him
root
too.
for.
You could tell
Yeah.
the team, they're
Like,
all
dude, how
behind him.
can you not when you're making throws like that and you're running the way you are?
Right. And
And
it also helps that they got a month plus with Jacoby Brissett where we had an offense that basically couldn't get first downs.
yeah, couldn't move the ball at
And
all.
so now you feel the difference here and you're like, all right, this is our guy. Now I
Yeah.
feel like we have a chance and
You
just
want to
have that
see
that comparison.
you
Right.
want to see less erratic throws. That throw where he said he was trying to throw it out of bounds. If you're trying to throw it out of bounds, you got to get it out of bounds.
Throw it
Like you
out of
don't,
fucking
Yeah.
bounds.
guy picked it. Like that's not good enough. His footwork needs cleaning up. I think his delivery is still a little bit long, taking too many hits. But all in all, I mean, you look at what he's doing with this offense, and there's not much around him, and he's doing a really good job. I mean, it's
He's
tough.
making it happen.
So
Yeah,
Yep. Gotta love it. Pats
absolutely.
improved to 3-7 currently.
Still pretty shitty.
Improve.
no longer the
Still
first
pretty
pick in the
shitty.
draft.
We went to seventh.
For now.
Huge swing. We went from first to seventh. That's how shitty some of the teams are in
There's
NFL.
a lot of bad teams out there. Let's talk about some of them and some of the good teams this past week. Thursday night, great freaking game. Bengals and Ravens. As we expected, the Bengals rose to the challenge. Division foe goes all the way down to the end. And after we talked about this last week,
That's the 2 point.
about do you go for two going into an overtime situation, or do you go for one and try to push it to overtime? They go for two, and it didn't work out. And
And
yeah,
they
we are
got sent
saying
packing.
it depends on at least I was saying it depends on the situation in the game where they were at. I think they had given up like three straight touchdowns to the Ravens. So part of you feel, I mean, from that perspective, I feel like going for two is the right move because your defense has shown no ability to stop them recently. Where if they get
Yeah.
the coin toss, they're just going to go down and score a touchdown is probably your belief. So take your chance with the 2-pointer. Didn't work out for him.
Well, also on that play, Jamar Chase had just an insane game where he caught 264 yards for 3 TDs. One of the last, probably like 5 minutes left, was just a bomb to him, 70 or 80 yards or whatever it happened to be. He runs down the field, no one's near him. And on the 2 point freaking conversion, they go to Mike Gesicki, who doesn't even go for the ball. Just basically, as soon as he feels contact, throws his arms up in the air and falls to the ground, and then runs up to the ref, with his hands up in the air, like, what the hell, man? It's like, dude, at least go for the damn pass. You didn't even, you're 6'7", 240 pounds, and you're acting like a cornerback is going to take you to the ground by just touching you. Use your size and catch it. Thank God he's off our damn team.
Yeah,
And that's why they didn't get the 2 point conversion.
And refs hate to throw flags in game clinching situations unless the
Yeah.
Chiefs are playing.
Especially
Had to
when
get a
you
dig.
have the size advantage by like 4 or 5 inches. It's like the old Gronk thing. Gronk wouldn't get the call when someone was hanging off on him because he was a foot
Yeah,
taller than the guy.
It's the Shaq rules.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, it's how it works.
So the
Looks like,
Ravens, go
It
ahead.
looks like this is the Cincinnati team we're gonna see all season. Their defense for the rest of the season, their defense is just struggling really to keep pace. Their offense, they didn't have T. Higgins again this week, and they're putting up monster numbers. The last few weeks they've been awesome. So, I think, and same can be said for Baltimore. I don't think their defense has been very good. It's been
No.
the past defense has been getting fucking absolutely torched. So
Atrocious.
both teams, man, they got question marks on their defense.
I don't know why Baltimore's pass defense is so bad. You look at some of the talent that they have. I just don't understand it.
You do get the feeling the way Cincinnati's playing, they're going to go on a little run at some point. I don't know if it's going to be when they're going to start stacking, but
Yeah, I mean, we're getting a little long in the tooth for them to start up here.
I mean,
let's see what
they're
they're
definitely playoff caliber team.
Chargers, Steelers are next two up for the Bengals, and then they got Cowboys, Titans, Browns, Broncos, Steelers. So yeah, they might be able to get to 8, maybe 9 wins.
I don't know if that's going
I
to
think
get them.
nine gets you in, I think.
You think
Nine's
so?
5-1 for the rest
With
of
some
the
of
way.
these bad teams in the league, yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't know. I guess
6-1. No, 5-2. Jeez.
Yeah.
The 17 games, god damn it, it screws me up every
I know
time.
it's so weird.
Every fringo time.
Perfect at 16.
All right.
Simple math.
Let's talk about our revenge on Germany for World War II by sending them the Giants and
Oh
Panthers.
my God.
Goes to overtime.
Goes to
At least they
overtime,
saw a
yeah.
tight one.
Yippee!
Didn't catch a lick of this.
Daniel
JJ.
Jones is being yelled out of New York Giants.
Jamesy, you picked the Panthers and they won again.
Boom. Twice.
My God.
Yeah, you're hot with the Panthers right now. Is that 2 weeks in a
Seriously.
row?
No, I picked them weeks ago for with Andy Dalton when he started for them.
Okay.
The Panthers have one more win than the Giants this year. The Panthers were, I thought, like the worst team I'd ever seen. And
well, Bryce Young is there. He's finally they're letting him play. They didn't, I feel like the coaches have scared him out of throwing the ball and they're just kind of letting him throw the ball, which, go for it. I mean, he didn't do too well in this game, but played Daniel Jones. They want to hit Daniel Jones's head in fucking New York right now.
Yeah. The
Chuba Hubbard
GM won't say that Daniel Jones is a starter.
Chuba Hubbard had a great game, 28 carries, 153 yards. You don't see a lot of 28 carry games anymore.
No.
But yeah, I'm not going to pretend I watched this game. I did not.
No, and you shouldn't have. Neither should anybody listening, unless you're a Panthers Giants fan, which God bless you.
And after the game, I'm hearing today, Daniel Jones will not start again. So we'll see if that comes to fruition.
There you go. All right,
there's backup there. Is it Tyrod Taylor?
Drew Lock. Yeah. There's Daniel Jones. There's 40 million down the drain.
I see an off-season trade or something. Unless
I don't think anyone's
they're high
trading
enough to
for
they're
that
high
contract.
enough to pick one. They're talking about Shedeur Sanders. I don't know.
Who knows?
Imagine Shedeur Sanders there. Oh God.
I feel like the Giants need to focus on low media personalities. They need that. Which, interestingly enough, Eli Manning is a big media personality now.
Now he is. At the time, he was not.
No, he wasn't.
He's got a commercial with Christian Gonzalez, I saw.
Yeah, I have seen that one. Okay, next one up. Bills and Colts. Bills hang on to this one. They just continue to mow down inferior opponents, 8-2 now. We're staring down that Bills-Chiefs matchup that's upcoming. That's going to be a titanic clash.
Yeah, Josh didn't have the greatest game here, threw 2 interceptions. But like you said, they keep doing it. They're very consistent everywhere else. They have a good team. I'm a big Bills fan this year, just so they beat the fucking Chiefs.
Yep. We'll get to the Chiefs game.
I know we will.
It's coming up next. Chiefs beat Denver. Denver goes to hit a field goal. It was less than 40 yards.
It was like 27 or something, wasn't it?
And the Chiefs block it to win the game. Like, imagine just if you're into conspiracy theories, how many people would have to be in on that to allow that to get blocked?
Well, you know what's interesting, and I haven't really seen a lot of it. I haven't dug deep into this at all because I just don't give a shit. But when I watched the replay twice, they show the replay of it twice. I don't know what happened, but the entire offensive line for the Broncos completely collapsed. And it looked like the center did too, but I don't know. I didn't go back and look at it. I didn't think you could really do that shit on a kickoff because people never do it. So I don't know. I bet there was
hit the center.
Hit the center, and
you can't hit the center
and collapse an offense. Like if every offensive line falls down,
they got beat.
I don't know. Something's fishy was going on there, and I don't know what the fuck it was.
Every week, there's a new fishy thing around the Chiefs.
But I think they didn't call a penalty, basically, is what I'm getting. They probably, if that was the Patriots, it would have been a penalty.
Broncos did a good job, man. They're a feisty team. I think they're going to be around. They're going to have a say in this thing. It's just annoying. Chiefs. It's just annoying that the Chiefs win like that. They got to be the worst. Are they 9-0?
Yeah,
they got to be the worst 9-0 team.
I don't know. I think the 2019 Patriots might have been 9-0. And we just got smacked by the Titans in the playoffs that year.
Yeah.
Well, so that's what I'm saying about the Chiefs is, that's great that you're 9-0, but just listening to the Patriots, in 2007 how much pressure is on you, and they were absolutely loaded, and they played great team after great team that year. Just so many well built teams, and it was so exhausting for them. I mean, are the Chiefs built for this? Are they built to go for another 8 games and then a playoff run? I mean, they're like hanging on by a thread. They have to beat the Broncos and, with a blocked
I
field
think they are
goal.
built for it. I mean, you look
Yeah.
at their offensive line; it's strong. It's
I don't know,
they're
man.
able to
I don't know
find
how long
pieces.
this can last.
Rasheed Rice
Pacheco's
might
coming
come
back.
back. Rasheed Rice might come back at some point. I heard.
Oh yeah,
They added DeAndre Hopkins. They got
that was a good pickup. D
young
Hop.
kid Worthy. Their defense is one of the top 5 defenses, I would think, in the NFL.
Easy. Easy.
Definitely.
They got good
Maybe they
kicker.
are built for it. I don't know. It seems like
Andy Reid's a good coach, the good defensive coordinator. They're built for it. I mean, they've proven
It's a long ass road.
Yeah,
that's what
20
I don't know about
games.
the undefeated thing, but
20 games. It's
yeah.
a long way to go.
I'm
They're
just
not even
waiting for
halfway.
someone to smack the hammer on them. Just someone beat the shit out of them. Like,
Well, we'll talk about the Bills and Chiefs who are coming up this weekend.
is it this weekend?
It is. It is. Yeah, Tony Romo is going to blow a gasket.
I don't know, Jim.
I don't know what to think. I lost my grasp of English language. The Atlanta Falcons and the New Orleans Saints with the new head coach, and the new head coach syndrome hits again.
Yeah.
The Saints with the victory. James, you called this one.
Boom. Just to
Boom,
rub
that's
that in
what I was
Ryan's fucking face for
All
the
right.
Falcons.
I like the
I don't know.
Falcons.
I don't know. I just picked them because of the coach thing. And the Falcons, you just can't trust them. You just can't trust Kirk Cousins, can you? He just can't win the games he's supposed to.
The crazy thing is Bijan had like one of his best games of the season here.
Yeah.
Man, he's fucking good, dude. They just don't have enough variety with their players on offense, I think.
I don't know.
It's very like it's Bijan or it's Drake or it's Mooney or it's Pitts, and then there's not much else after that. Maybe Algier.
That should be enough.
That's plenty.
That's plenty to beat the Saints.
I know, but you would just think like another weapon or two.
I think it's the coaching. It's the coaching.
But their offense, I love their offensive coordinator, Zach Robinson.
Is it Zach Robinson?
I think he's tremendous.
Yeah, it's Zach Robinson. Their defense just isn't very good. It's too bad.
And they only scored 17 points.
I'm telling you that
0 sacks.
If they took Byron Murphy at number 8 overall instead of a guy that's not playing for them, that would help them drastically. But
Who did they take? Oh, Penix. Yeah.
Penix.
Yeah.
How could you forget? Another NFC clash. Tampa Bay hosting the Niners. Niners come out on top in this one. Couple highlight reel plays. Did you see the one where Baker Mayfield was stiff arming Nick Bosa for like 2 seconds and then threw a first down pass on a 4th and 10 at the end of the fourth quarter?
No, I did not.
Unbelievable. He's stiff arm. Baker Mayfield's not a big dude. He's like 5'11". And Nick Bosa, maybe the best defender in the NFL, coming like draped all over him, and he stiff arms him, gets his way to the sideline, and completes the pass on 4th and 10. It's amazing. Yeah. Ultimately wasn't enough. Purdy had a couple highlight reel plays himself. Beautiful lollipop to McCaffrey in his return. San Fran sneaking back up the standings right now. They're sitting pretty at 5-4.
Well, they got Pearsall in now. No Ayuk, but Ricky Pearsall. I mean, don't get him. He is a talented kid. Some of the shit he did at Florida was like crazy highlight reel shit. He's fast. I know he's coming off the gunshot. He could have fucking died. They're getting McCaffrey back. 49ers, man. That's not a joke beating Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is a tough team.
No. But did you hear about the thing with Debo where he nearly choked out the long snapper?
What?
No,
yeah, I didn't hear this.
Are you going to get the facts right?
Here's the tweet. Debo Samuel grabbed the neck of long snapper Tabor Pepper and swiped at kicker Jake Bootery after third missed field goal.
Oh my God!
Wow.
Good thing for Moody's health. He made the game winner.
Debo, I know, and then he won the game.
Kicker's tough.
It's more like he smacked at it. I shouldn't say choked. He like smacked at his neck.
I could see if you go after like a guy like Joey Sly, but Jake Moody, come on, dude.
That's hilarious, Debo.
He probably got like 30 pounds of muscle on him.
That is amazing.
McCaffrey highly involved in the
Yeah.
pass game.
Yeah,
Not so
that's
much a
crazy.
factor. Not so much a factor in the run game, but 7 targets, 6 catches, 68 yards, long of 30. McCaffrey is back. We'll see if he can get the run game going.
Not bad. Not bad. Moving on, the a matchup that I was really looking forward to, Steelers and the Commanders, and it lived up to it.
Yeah.
110.
Steelers played them tough. That defense is good in Pittsburgh, and they still put up 27. The Commanders did. They tried to contain the pocket on Jaden Daniels and were pretty effective in that, but they weren't able to, hold him down, maybe just contain him. And Russell Wilson pulled it out late in the game, making passes downfield.
To Mike Williams to win the game, basically.
Yeah.
They just claimed him from New York. Did they trade for him or did they? I think they probably traded for him.
They traded for him.
Russell Wilson with some of these deep throws. It's kind of his MO now. It's basically all he can do now is just throw the deep ball. George Pickens had one fucking unbelievable catch. Did you see that outstretched on the right
I missed it. No, I didn't see
right
it.
side for a touchdown? The defender just got around the defender, sneaking back, working back towards the ball, and like a diving outstretched. I mean, fucking this guy, all he does is make like the most beautiful catches, and he like doesn't catch the easy ones or doesn't try to get
Worth
open
a
underneath.
damn.
I think
Yeah.
that's his thing. I don't think he tries if it's not like a
He doesn't.
touchdown.
If
you
he
know?
doesn't, yeah, literally, which is shocking that he's on Mike Tomlin's team to do that.
He needs that. They've had a lot of those guys on Mike
They
Tomlin's
have.
teams.
They have.
And he gets the best out of them. As soon as they leave, they fall apart.
They do. And Washington, unfortunately, they lost the game on it was like 4th and 1. Basically, they needed a forced punt, and there was 40 or 50 seconds left, essentially. They forced the punt. It's 4th down. Russell Wilson goes back on the field. Did you see this?
No.
And got him. Made him jump. Made it seem like they were going for it. Rookie
Crazy.
D tackle jumps. And there goes the game. And
Oh my God.
bad. And I was really excited to see
Jaden in that situation.
Jaden and Washington try and go down the field, at which they looked like they were starting to gain momentum again, but they missed it. So.
Yeah. Mental errors. There you go.
Mental errors, man.
Speaking of mental errors, the Vikings and the Jaguars, this game was one big mental error.
I didn't watch any of it.
Darnold just decided to throw the ball to the Jaguars over and over and over again. But for somehow the Jaguars, I think the Vikings ran twice as many plays as the Jags did in this game. That's how bad the Jags offense was.
Wow.
The story of the Vikings game was they turned the ball over, especially in plus territory.
Slinging Sammy Darnold.
But the Jaguars offense is so inept. And Mac Jones was on the field. So we got to see that parade again.
Was he the starter the whole time?
Yeah. Trevor Lawrence is hurt.
Wow, and he was that bad.
Yeah, he was still terrible. And still not like taking accountability, still looking like a whiny kid.
Oh, look, 5 yards per average. That looks familiar.
His press conferences, like
2 interceptions.
It's just like talking to like a 12-year-old. You know what I mean?
Was he the same thing? He did the same thing. Like,
yeah, well, and we're working on things and stuff and
and stuff. Return event stuff.
Imagine him being your fucking leader, dude. Like, I'm glad he's gone.
Yeah. Oh, thank God.
The only reason Doug Peterson still has a job is because Lawrence wasn't in this game. But if Lawrence was in and they played like this, I think he's on the street.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, even without him, Brian Thomas said, "What do you have? Like 1 catch?" He did nothing. It's just not coming into the season. I think we thought Jacksonville was a borderline playoff team. They're fucking terrible.
We thought they were We thought they were a wild card. I think
they're the worst team they're 2-8. They are worse than the Panthers and the Patriots.
And it's not like they could take a quarterback. Well, how do you fix this thing? And it's got to be the coach.
It's
the fastest way to turn this thing around is a new coach, dude.
It's an interesting Bill Belichick landing spot.
It is. He could like Jacksonville.
They might be just desperate enough to hand over the car keys
with a lot of money
and just say, want to go to whatever you want. That's
car keys and a boatload of cash. Here you go, Bill.
I feel like
have fun in London 3 times a year,
and then Mac Jones gets sent to friggin' Taiwan.
See you later, Mac.
Yeah. He would turn that thing
uh,
around quickly, I think.
I bet.
Not a bad idea.
I bet their salary cap would be a nightmare for a couple of years because all the money they doled out, he'd be like, Gabe Davis, see ya.
I
I
could
don't
see
care
Bill
what
in
our
like,
cap charge is.
I don't
Yeah.
think Bill would go to Dallas. I think he could go to the Giants, go back to New York.
I don't know if they're gonna have
That
him
would be so poetic. That would be, I mean, that's how
for his last 2 years. I mean, how much longer
you
can
end the
he even
book.
coach though? You know what I mean? Like, he's like 73. What's he gonna coach for 2 years? 3 years?
He'd probably tell you five.
And
Okay, till
where would
he's
you guys see him? Chicago?
78.
Yeah, Joe Paterno coached till he was 87
Yeah. Well,
and then died
and
right
had a
after.
massive scandal leading out.
Quick succession.
Massive scandal on the out.
I don't
You know what's funny about this year is that we like going into the year, nobody wanted him, and there was only one or two legit landing spots. A year later, there are so many horrible franchises that he's gonna have his pick of the litter.
But the thing is, he's got bad blood with so many of them. He's not going to go to the Jets.
No, well,
Go to
no,
the
but there
Jets.
he's got
Like
the
he can't.
Giants.
He's not going to go to the Colts.
Jags. He
Like
the
might
Colts
have
might come
Philly.
Cowboys doesn't make sense, does it?
Cowboys is on the table.
I don't think he could.
Vegas.
I don't think he
Go
wants
work for
Jerry
Brady.
Jones. Jerry
Jerry
Jones
Jones.
looming.
Yeah, I don't see.
But they're
He's
buddies.
such a-
They're boys.
I know, but but you could be friends with somebody, but not boss employee.
I mean, he's not going to go to
Bill
Carolina.
Belichick. One thing about Belichick that doesn't make sense with Dallas is Bill's a control freak,
Yeah, and Jerry is.
And so is Jerry.
and so
Yeah.
is Jerry. It's not going to work.
But
Yeah.
Jerry's slipping. Maybe the son steps in. He's like, Dad,
Dude, he looks and sounds and fucking is acting like
a
a
nutcase.
crazy old man.
Well,
Crazy son of a gun.
let's jump ahead and talk about Dallas. Philly goes into Dallas and destroys them. I know Cooper Rush was in this game. Dak Prescott's out for the
Those
year.
4 o'clock games suck,
Destroyed.
dude. All three
Destroyed.
4 o'clock games are so ugly.
I mean, the Cowboys are one of the worst situations in the NFL right now.
Going.
Yeah. Yeah, they got a bad salary cap issue too because they just paid fucking Dak
Everyone.
Prescott way too much, and they paid CD Lamb, and they're gonna have to pay Micah Parsons.
Yeah, it's going to be half the cap on those three guys.
Easy.
And they're still going to be a 3-win team.
And they're just
Yeah.
not that deep. They're not deep. Offensive line should be a lot better than it is. I don't know what they do. Honestly, that's trouble. Philly kicked the shit out of them, dude.
They shouldn't have invested in Dak. That was the problem. He's
That
not
was
the
the-
guy. He keeps
Right.
getting hurt. He's been hurt every year, right?
The Vikings went Kirk Cousins, see ya.
He's
and-
just good enough.
And the
that you-
Cowboys went Dak, stay here.
Yeah. We'll give you tons of money
Dak
too.
Prescott is just good enough that you can't let him walk. You know what I mean? So
yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
that's tough, dude. Like
He's right there. He's right on the line where you're like, well, he could if he goes somewhere else and he's really good, we look like idiots.
Yep.
But it's
right.
not happening.
No. If only they could have got that Russell Wilson trade package for him. That would have made it worth it.
dude,
Right.
Trey Lance played a little bit in this game.
Yeah, how'd he do?
Trey Lance. He's dog shit.
Still. Yeah. Tennessee at the Chargers. Not much to say here. Chargers pile on another win. They moved to
Chargers.
6-3.
Quietly 6-3. They could take the Chiefs down. Chiefs got a tough road, man.
They love Harbaugh, dude. They fucking love Harbaugh over there. Harbaugh's press conferences.
I haven't seen
I
any
waked
yet.
I woke up in the morning and I thought like, oh my God. So I don't even remember what he said, but it was like, I'm gonna be the best version of myself today. Something kick the day's ass. And it's like, dude.
Very rah-rah.
And you believe it. I
And
believe
believe
he
it, yeah.
actually thinks that stuff.
Well, he's
He
definitely
definitely
thinking
thinks that shit.
Yeah.
Consciously makes that effort.
It's not an act. Like that's how he lives his life in Dockers.
that. Today's gonna be the greatest day ever. You know? Rolling out of bed.
Speaking
Have
of
a
shit
coffee.
situations, the Jets go into Arizona and lay an egg. Arizona gets, I think, third or fourth straight victory, and
Yeah,
the
6-4.
Jets keep spiraling into the depths of hell.
I mean, this
Man.
was really bad by the Jets. Aaron Rodgers looks like a deflated noodle out there. He can't really run it. He can't really throw it. It's weird because he does have those flashes where it's for a Jets fan, it's just torture enough to like see like, oh, that's it. There's Aaron Rodgers. It's like, yeah, but that's like 1 out of 15 plays, maybe if you're lucky. So, and the other 14 players are just horrible. He doesn't look like he wants to be there. I almost am starting to believe the fact that I saw something like he just went there to troll New York because the Woody Johnson owns them from Johnson and Johnson. So he's like, I'm gonna go suck and lose this man a lot of money.
What
You
does
haven't
he care
heard this
about
one?
Johnson and Johnson?
Because he's all, he went and did an ayahuasca trip and it's probably like, I'm gonna go take down the corporation, man. Came
Oh
all
my
hippie.
God.
It's not just the offense either. The defense, man, is getting
Can't do
shredded by
anything.
Kyler.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray was 22 for 24 in this game.
Wow. I didn't see that.
I mean, they were running the ball. They got production out of Benson and Connor and DeMarcado. Arizona's a sneaky good team.
They are, right?
And on the other side of the ball, Aaron Rodgers, and I would say Breece Hall, super disappointing. All year, Breece Hall's been down. Has he even had a 100-yard game? Maybe one against us.
And
I don't know.
he has been. I think he had one against us, but he was supposed to be like fantasy #1 overall. Like the everything was astronomical for him. All the projections and the hype and everything was just. And I don't even know where it came from. He had what 4 or 5 good games to end the year last year or something.
Yeah.
So everyone thought he was going to be the best running back ever. It's not the case.
It's not the case.
Not the fucking case, man.
Can you fire an interim coach? Because they might want to consider that.
Yeah, probably.
They just keep
my
firing.
buddy.
Yeah,
my buddy who's a Jets fan, he said he'd keep firing coaches until they get a win.
Just keep doing it.
What do they have to lose at this point?
Yeah, right. That bad. That's fun. It makes me feel good.
You get the feeling Aaron Rodgers would want to be a player coach.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Let him.
Let him. Why not? What do you got?
It's all about you. Show me it's all about. There's no one you can point the finger at now.
Yeah,
it's all
you're
about
calling the plays. Hell, you can pick the guys.
Yeah, you can pick the guys.
He basically does anyway.
Free agency.
Yeah, give him football operations control.
Go get
Sunday night. Sorry. Lions and Texans. Tale of two halves right here. Texans go out to.
Did you watch this game?
I watched the second half. I turned it on at halftime. Texans are up 16. Goff, I think, already had 4 interceptions.
Yeah.
Bad
like,
game.
wow. This is a demolishing of who we thought was the best team in the league. And then they just start marching back, and Goff never looked good. I feel like even the passes he completed in the second half were wobblers. I don't know if he's got an injury going on or just a confidence thing. 5 interceptions in this game, and they still come back and win it at the end. Stroud fell on his face in the second half. I thought they got way too conservative. The Texans offense, they were just like, we just want to run out the clock. We're going to run it on 1st and 10 and 2nd and 8, and then we're going to try to complete it on 3rd down. And then it wasn't working. They just kept doing it.
Yeah, man. It was I was in and out watching the game, and there was a sequence in there where Jared Goff threw just a bomb for a pick. CJ Stroud gets the ball, throws a pick immediately. Jared Goff gets the ball back, throws a pick within a play or two. And I was like, is this a fucking Madden game? Am I watching real NFL? What is happening?
I feel like that's how games would go in the 70s. Have you ever looked at the passing stats in the 70s?
Exactly.
Joe Namath has 26 picks.
Just jump balls everywhere.
Jump balls, whoever didn't get tackled and catches it. Jahmyr Gibbs doesn't have a good stat sheet, but he kind of won them the game at the end. The only reason they moved the ball to score at the end was kind of Jahmyr Gibbs. And he looks electric. Also, Sam Laporta is pretty good over there. I don't know.
Amon-Ra came up big.
Amon-Ra had a good game. Yeah, but
late in the game, he came up big.
Jared Goff. Here we are talking about Mr. Efficiency, and he's the most friggin' accurate guy in the league right now, and he's finally getting his due, and all this fucking crap
MVP, maybe.
Soaked it all up. I don't know, Jim. And then he throws 5 picks, and they weren't just interceptions; they were awful passes.
Yeah.
And it was like, there's Jared Goff. There he is. It all comes out in one fucking game. Hopefully you got that over with so you can make a playoff run, because you might be the only people that can beat the Chiefs.
I wouldn't expect to see that again, though. I think
I hopefully got it all out in one, done.
Yeah. I mean, it happens. I think it's his worst game in probably 3 years. So
that doesn't just happen. 5 interceptions. When's the last time? I didn't even know you don't usually get that much.
I'm sure Jameis has done it.
Remember that guy Peterman?
Nathan
from
Nathan
Buffalo
Peterman.
that threw like
Did he?
Throw like 6 or 7 picks in a game or something like
I
that.
think I think
Mm.
he threw like five in
The
less than
first
three
half.
quarters, and
Yeah.
they were all pumped to start him. They're like, "We're moving on from Tyrod Taylor. We're going to give Peterman a shot." It was
No.
a train wreck from the
Oh my
start.
God, dude. That guy was hilarious. I loved him. He's one of my favorite players.
He even bounced around the league a little bit. People were
Nathan
like, "Peterman, I
Peterman
think
is
there's
one of your
something
favorite players. What are you talking about?
I
as a
know
laugh
he's
line."
one of my, I mean, he's a laugh fest, dude.
Oh
What are
yeah,
you
in
gonna do?
terms of
Put in
that.
Peterman.
Okay.
Yeah, right. Monday night, Miami goes to LA to take on the Rams. Miami took charge of this one early on. I didn't catch too much of it, but I noticed they weren't really using Tyreek Hill in the passing game. I would have
Mm.
thought they would put that together when Tua came back in, and they still haven't figured it out. I know he was questionable with a wrist injury, so I don't know if they're trying to take it easy on him.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, Tua looks okay. He doesn't look good.
He don't look good.
No.
He don't look good at all. He had another in this game too. Also thought I was not watching real football because he throws a terrible interception. Then Stafford throws an interception. Then Tua does some weird thing where he's like getting tackled and he just like lifts the football up like it's like a torch or something, like kind of like lifts it up in the air and then just dropped it. It's like, oh, okay, that's a interesting technique. So it was just within 4 plays, 3 turnovers in an NFL game, back to back games I was watching. So I don't know what the fuck was going on this weekend, but I love Puka Nakua over there on the Rams and Cooper Cup and their passing game, and I'm shocked that they couldn't get it going. Their offensive
Yeah.
line was in rough shape in this game. And the Dolphins defense looked really good against the Rams, which the Dolphins defense has not been good this year, which also gives me a little bit of hope for the Patriots this upcoming week that the Rams offensive line is in such shambles. And it's not the Bears level, but it's enough where, you know, the Dolphins kind of crappy D this year got to them.
Yeah, but they are getting some pieces back. Steve Avila, the kid they took in the
This week they are.
yeah.
Okay.
Steve Avila, center slash guard at I think it was TCU. And they took him, I think, a year or two ago, and they get Jonah Jackson back. That's big for them, man. Their offensive line has been so banged up all year. I
Yeah.
think their defense is scary. It can be scary. They're young, they're energetic, they can
Defense
get
wise
after it a little
stacked.
bit. We'll get into more of their outlook, but is there anyone? I mean, I know they didn't win this game, but is there anyone that just feeds his wide receivers better than Matthew Stafford? Like
No.
the true wideouts, like
Maybe Baker.
he just gets the ball to
Baker's
Cooper
up there.
Kupp and Puka Nakua. Like they're just
Over and
open.
over again.
Yeah, it's very efficient too. So it's weird. I just like the way they're coached and their schemes make sense to me. McVay's a really good coach,
He's
and
such
that's
such a good coach.
all right.
Let's talk a bit about the Rams. So far this year, they are 20th in points for, 22nd in points allowed, 17th in total offense, 22nd in total defense. It's a pretty mediocre stat
Yeah.
line. Definitely a better passing offense than rushing offense.
Hmm.
A lot of it, the decimation on the offensive line has a lot to do with that, but they're a balanced defense, but not a good defense. They do take the ball away a decent amount. And let's look at some of the talent they have on defense. Kobe Turner is a big time playmaker, rookie of the year last year.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Jared Verse has one. I think Ryan, you said he's got the highest pressure rate among rookies.
I think he had the highest PFF grade among defensive rookies 2 weeks ago. So I don't know where
He
he's at
looked good
now,
in
but
this
he's
game.
he's number 8. Watch out for him. He's a dynamic player. I think he's going to be a really good player.
Yeah, so there's a couple guys you got to watch out for in their defensive front. And behind that, it's a lot of guys I don't recognize. Cam Curl, Kobe Durant. Kobe Durant played well last night. I saw him a few times. Darius Williams. Um, we might be able to get something going in the passing game here in this game. You just really hope that our offensive line is able to hold up a bit. I really feel like whoever's offensive line plays better is going to be the winner in this game. Rams coming in on a short week cross country flight to come into Gillette. Drake May's
Mm-hmm.
coming off his first win as a pro, coming back home, playing in front of the home crowd. You got to feel pretty good about that, especially if the weather is going to be crappy playing a California team. I don't
This
know.
is
I'm in toss-up mode here. I keep seesawing on this fucking Patriots team and the Rams too.
Hmm.
I don't know what to do about it.
Yeah, this is a tough one. I think that the momentum you want to start at maybe see a stack here of two wins in a row for the Pats. I mean, of course you want to see that, but it's tough. With the Rams getting some pieces back, I think they're definitely the more talented team. Another player you didn't touch on the defense is Braden Fisk. There, I think it was a second round pick out of Florida State. A little bit of an older guy, but he can really play. Um, they got some young pieces on that defense. That Byron Young's another. I don't know which way I'm going. JJ, do you have a pick for this game?
yeah, this you're right. It is a tough one. This team has beaten good teams. They've lost to good teams. They're kind of all over the place. They've had a pretty tough schedule when you look at it. They're really only two layups for the Raiders and the Cardinals. They lost, or I'm sorry, not the Cardinals, the Bears. They lost to the Bears at
Bears
the
were playing
time,
well back
and the
then.
Bears were playing well. So it's like, oh, okay, they lost to the Packers. That's understandable. They beat the Raiders. They beat the Vikes, but then they just lose to the Dolphins, who are kind of reeling and don't look very good at all. I'm hoping our defense can kind of build on their performance last week, where they send pressure. They don't. We're not the type of defense where we can kind of just sit back and wait, and especially in the NFL today. That's becoming a lesser successful scheme. So send the dogs, send guys after Stafford. He's older, he's less mobile these days. He doesn't want to take hits. He's a good quarterback, but he's kind of a standard pocket passer these days. So get after him. Dolphins had four sacks against them. So
I
I'm gonna go
guess so.
Patriots. All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Patriots. I think I, I don't know what I think. I guess we could win. I don't know if we're going to score a lot. I'd love to see Drake May, put it all together where he can put that touchdown conversion rate together with some long drives. I'll go 24-20 Patriots.
Wow, nice. I'm
Hmm.
gonna. My hesitation comes from how bad the Bears played. So I'm
Right.
not. I'm just gonna not put that much stock into what we saw, particularly from the defense last week. I love the coaching adjustments that we made. We had the perfect opportunity to do that against the worst offensive line anybody's put out there. So I'm gonna go back to the Rams. I'm gonna stick with the Rams in this one. I think their passing game's too much for us to handle.
Yeah, I kind of think so too. Um, I think Christian Gonzalez can match up really well against either Nakua or Cup. Um, I'm just a little worried about. I think the big difference in this game is coaching. I think that they're a much better coach team. They're much more well prepared. Um, so for that reason, I'll give it to the Rams. I'd say 23-19 Rams.
23-19. Oh yeah, I got Pats. I mean, I got the Rams 24-16.
Okay, so we're all kind of around the same ballpark.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
don't
I
think
think it's
I think it's gonna be a pretty close game, honestly. But
I think so too. I mean, the Rams haven't really played anything outside of close games. So,
the thing that is a little scary is them getting back some of these offensive linemen, and we know that they can be a really good team if they're healthy. So
I mean, their best win was against the Niners,
I don't
or
really
maybe the
count. Like
Vikes.
that's the thing, though, JJ. Like if they get their offensive line back, it's a different team. You know,
I know, but they haven't scored over 30 regardless. Not that we're going to score
they've been
30
out. They've all been out since
all
like week
season.
one. Yeah,
Yeah.
they've been banged up since early.
Yeah, but I mean, even coming back, I mean, are they going to be right back ready to go? Offensive lines have been awful this year, even with good people. It's like if you
Yeah.
don't have the combination, the time practicing together. I don't know. We'll see. It's a tough one. This really is it's a
Yep.
tough pick.
There's no denying the coaching though, and I think that matters for something.
It
So
does. McVay should outcoach the Patriots by a long shot.
Yep.
I mean, I
Yep.
would be surprised if he didn't. Hopefully.
Exactly. Speaking of tough choices, Thursday night we got a good NFC East matchup. The Commanders going to Philly, take on the Eagles. If this
oof.
was a month ago, I take Commanders as a layup. I feel like Philly's been building a lot of momentum.
Yeah.
recently. They've gotten healthier. AJ Brown has just been a playmaker consistently for the last month. I'm going to take the Eagles at home.
All right.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I mean, I think that the Commanders will play them tough. This divisional thing, I think the home field advantage matters, especially in Philly. I mean, Saquon's playing ball right now, dude.
He's playing really well.
Yeah, I got to go Eagles.
Yeah, I mean, I was debating picking the Commanders, so I'll go with the Commanders. Like
Hey. Sticking with so it worked out for you last week. You won the week with your underdog selections.
Yep.
You got a lot of them. You didn't get all of them, but you got enough in order to take the week. And just for anybody keeping track at home, Ryan still leads for the season. JJ and I are tied 3 points back.
3 points, 3 games.
There we go.
3 games.
All right. The best rivalry in the NFL, the Packers and Bears. At least it's the oldest.
From what I saw last week,
I
cannot pick the Bears anytime soon.
We are still kind of dooming when we all pick 3. It's not good odds, but I mean I got to go to Bears. Before I say more though, before I move on, I'm sorry, no, the Packers. Jesus Christ,
okay,
I got to pick the Packers.
Right.
Wow,
no, I'm not picking the Bears. But before we move on,
Bears, dude.
I did say the Bears, but I meant Packers.
A card laid.
I think you said Bears.
Whatever, put whatever you want. if that's that big of a deal. No, but what I was gonna say, the reason I was rushing it is because the Bears have not played a divisional game this year until this upcoming week. This is
mid-November.
First happening.
Fucking goddamn divisional game, and their division is the Packers, the Lions, and the Vikings. Three of the best teams in the NFC. So I don't know. They had this whole thing a couple years ago. They're like, AI is generating the schedules. Well, you know what? Forget that crap. Because not playing a divisional game before basically Thanksgiving is a complete joke.
What do they have? Like 7 games left, and 6 are in the division.
They're all divisional games.
They have 8 games left.
When you look at who the Bears have beat, too, it kind of makes sense. They beat the Titans, the Rams, who were real banged up, the Panthers, and the Jaguars.
Yeah, so
they haven't really beat anyone.
Here's
their remaining gauntlet. Yeah,
is the Packers, the Vikings, at the Lions, at the Niners, at the Vikings, versus the Lions, versus the Seahawks, at the Packers. So they basically get to play the Seahawks.
They might win one more game.
Maybe.
Wow. Maybe if they're lucky.
Dude, that is a brutal.
I mean, they're all divisional games is the saddest part.
They're all good, too.
Yeah, they're all good. They're in the best division. That sucks to be them.
Well, they're going to suck on Sunday with the Packers coming to town.
Pissed.
Coming off a bye, I believe.
We saw another team. We were looking at another team this week that
same thing.
All of their divisional games. Yeah, it's weird.
I mean, we played the Bills twice in the last 3 weeks, which has happened, in the past when people make the schedule, but it's just such a dumb thing.
It's so dumb. The Lions, sticking in the NFC North, Lions go back home to host the Jaguars. The Lions coming off that emotional victory down in Houston, pull one out at the end.
Yeah.
Jaguars are a pile of poop. It's got to be the Lions in this one.
Might be the biggest spread of the year at -13 Detroit. I'll take
it.
Yeah, especially with Goff coming off that game. That can't happen again. I mean, it's easy Lion territory against Mac Jones. Come on.
I mean, if they can't lose with
Is it Mac Jones
picks,
this week?
it's probably Mac Jones.
I don't know if it's been announced yet.
Okay, well, I mean, the Jaguars.
If it's Mac, it's absolutely zero chance.
Yeah, 100%.
Vikings going to Tennessee. Is there a world in which Tennessee, if Darnold keeps throwing 3 interceptions a game, can Tennessee do this?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Vikings defense is too good.
Yeah.
Their defense is nasty.
Got to agree. Vikings
favored by 6. I got the Vikes as well. Raiders at the Dolphins.
Ugh, what a shitty game.
In Miami. Miami's favored by 7.5. They got the win.
Insane.
That's a huge spread. Really?
Huge spread for this game. Makes no sense.
Miami's sitting there at 3-7. No, 3-6.
3-6, and the Raiders are 2-7. It's like, oh yeah, big spread.
Do the Dolphins? I mean, do they believe they have a playoff shot?
I think
because if they do, they need to get this game.
Yeah, this is the Dolphins need this game. I'm taking the Dolphins.
Yeah, they got something to play for. I'll take
I
Dolphins
was
too.
gonna go. I would look for any excuse to take the Raiders, but their quarterback play is just abysmal. So I'll go Dolphins.
Okay. This one's a tough one to pick. The next one up, Cleveland at New Orleans.
I'm going New Orleans. Give me the Saints. Who dat? Bring it back.
All right.
I'm gonna take Cleveland because Derek Carr didn't really feel any pressure last week. He's gonna feel pressure this week. Miles Garrett's gonna get after him. He's gonna get at least one. Um,
Who's who's? Oh yeah, is it still
I'll go
famous
Browns.
Jameis?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
still Jameis.
So you're gonna get that, what do they call that? Poison or I don't know. Whatever. One of those
One of
things.
Jameis's things.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
Pick or I don't know.
but
He's
he
probably
I don't
this
know.
got.
against an ex team might have some extra motivation.
Yeah, and I think that new coach thing only lasts for a week, so I'm going to take the
Usually only
Browns.
lasts for a week. Yeah.
Colts at the Jets.
Ugh,
The
what an
Jets
awful game.
are
Hate this game.
favored by 4 points. They
How is
are
that possible? Why are
unrelenting
they?
favorites.
They are favorites every week. They keep losing. It makes no sense.
Yeah, give me the Colts.
Give me the Colts.
Give me the
Fuck
Colts.
the Jets.
Yeah, the
That's
Jets
it.
are. Oh,
I think
God.
they've been favored every week.
You remember
Wow.
that one game? Was it like 2 weeks ago or something? I don't know. Remember when it was? It was some game they had no business being favored.
Yeah, I do.
And
It's
I
like
don't remember what it was.
every week, every
Every
other
week.
week.
I think they were playing the Texans on Thursday night, and they were
And they were
favored by like
favored.
3.5 points. It's like and they won.
Right. Yeah, they were favored against the Texans.
Yeah,
And
and
they
they
won.
won.
Yeah.
Then they were
Oh.
favored in Arizona and lost by 26.
Yeah, I picked the Colts. Give me the Colts.
All right, now we get into the actual good matchups. Ravens and Steelers.
This is a good game, man.
Clearly the best game at the 12 o'clock hour.
In Pittsburgh. I'm gonna go Ravens. I've been on Lamar's got 24 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions. Derrick Henry's running like a madman. I got to see the Ravens.
Yeah, Ravens. I want to see Keaton Mitchell get involved.
They said they wanted to get Keaton Mitchell and I think Deontay Johnson, they said, which, I don't know about that, but definitely Keaton Mitchell.
Keaton Mitchell's a player, dude. I was so sad when he got injured. He looked like a feature back to me before he got injured.
Last year. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take Pittsburgh.
All right.
Okay. Yeah.
Mostly just to be different.
I mean, it's fair. It's in Pittsburgh. They're
Pittsburgh's
a tough team.
a legit team. Like they're a really well coached and performing team right
I think
now.
they're like an above average team. I think they're one of the few teams I feel like there's a lot of teams that are like good record wise, and then there's a bunch of like horrible records. And I feel like the Steelers are one of those middle ground teams that could win any week.
Yeah.
So
What holds me
I'm
back
still-
is I think the Ravens' Achilles heel is their pass defense, and I don't think the Steelers are really equipped to fully exploit
to
that.
throw it.
But their defense is good enough to at least hold the game in the 20s.
Right.
they'll get pressure.
They'll get a chance.
They'll get
All right.
pressure.
Falcons at the Broncos. Fascinating matchup right
Yeah.
here. It's mile
Similar
high,
teams.
so you got to give it to Denver a little bit on the home field advantage. Atlanta's coming off an ugly loss. They're going to be highly motivated. Denver's been taking care of business in games that they should win. I don't know if I wouldn't classify this as a game that they should win. I'm going to take the Falcons in this game. I think they have enough desire coming off that loss last week.
I think I might have picked the Falcons almost every week so far.
Yeah.
I know what going to Denver's like. Denver's a tough place to play. I think they're playing well enough to give them a run. I did not like the way they looked against who was it last week? Was it
Chiefs?
The Saints. New
Denver?
Orleans.
Are you talking about Denver or Atlanta?
I'm talking about Atlanta.
Oh,
Who'd they
yeah.
lose to?
Saints.
He's always
yeah.
talking about Atlanta. You can always
Thanks.
default to that.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take Denver.
I'm going. Wow, he switched it up, picking against the Falcons. Damn it! I was going to pick Denver, but you might have just jinxed the Falcons. Should I take the Falcons now because you finally picked against them? No, I'm going to go Denver. I think they. I just gotta feel like they're so fucking pissed off about the way they lost to the Chiefs, who were undefeated. Like they had that in their grasp, and that slipped out of got away from them, and that is a big motivating factor. And for anybody, when you have the champion on the ropes and you lose, the next team you're going to try and beat the shit out of them, and their defense is really good, and the Falcons are kind of reeling because Ryan, like Ryan said, they don't have enough targets over there. So
Denver, fifth ranked defense.
Denver's favored by 2.5.
Fifth ranked what?
Denver has the fifth ranked defense in the NFL.
Yeah, they're real. They're good, dude. They're good
defensively. They do just enough offensively.
Vance Joseph over there fucking pulling the strings, dude.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned this last year, but I get a big props to Vance Joseph, who was the head coach in Denver, went to Arizona as a defensive coordinator, and came back to Denver as the defensive coordinator.
Good for him, man. That's
to
tough.
Have the stones to walk into the same building where you had the top job.
Yep.
Come in, take a lesser job, but absolutely kick ass.
All right. Hey,
it's great.
That's pretty
good,
it,
man. I mean, I'm not a Broncos guy, but I respect it, dude.
When was he that coach over there again?
3 years ago.
I think it was after Kubiak. I think after Kubiak retired, they brought in Vance Joseph.
Right.
Yeah, so he was like 6 years ago.
We talked about him a couple years ago as the coach. I can't remember. It
was a while ago.
He said something noteworthy that we kind of got into. I can't remember what it was.
I love the defense that he put together in Arizona when they had Budda Baker just flying around. He just used him like a player, the queen on the chessboard.
Yeah.
Seattle at San Francisco, divisional matchup right here. I can't
play a tough game, these two.
I know. I can't put any faith into Seattle with what I've seen from them over the last 6 weeks.
They haven't been playing very well lately.
No. And Gino's really fallen off.
He has. I like San Francisco in this game. I think they're starting to figure it out a little bit. Are they winning record? Yeah, they are. All right, so they're above 500 finally. I would
McCaffrey's back.
McCaffrey's back. They got the Pearsall kid coming in. I think
they need to go on a run. They're trying to get to the playoffs again. Shanahan's too good of a coach to let this team fall into oblivion. So I gotta go Niners. Watch the Seahawks fucking win now that we all pick.
Seahawks coming off a bye.
This is a perfect game for us to all pick. And
we did. Seahawks are making some weird choices. They just cut their leading tackler.
Yeah, what was that?
And
Miami picked him up.
Yeah, Miami claimed him on waivers. Dodson, I want to say I wasn't familiar with the guy, but why would you cut your leading tackler? What's your plan? They didn't have anybody else that they
must have done something really bad.
That sounds like off the field to me.
Yeah.
Whenever I hear something like that,
Miami's like, sign me up for your personality problems. I'll take it.
Come on to Miami. There's not enough cocaine down here today.
Maybe the game of the year.
Players.
Maybe the game of the year right now. Jim Nantz is already putting in his earplugs to stand next to Tony Romo. Kansas City in Buffalo. The Buffalo fans, the Bills Mafia, is going to be losing their shit. I can't imagine the tailgates that are going to be going off in the late afternoon. I love
that this is in Buffalo, too.
They're going to be cooked, showing up, just rolling into that stadium.
The Bills quietly, the Bills 8-2.
Yeah, dude. That's what I'm saying. This is going to be the hardest I've ever rooted for the Bills. And you're right. I mean, I'm so happy it's in New York for this game, in Buffalo. The weather, it's going to be cold. Not that that's going to affect the Chiefs at all. Actually, it says it's going to be nice, but those fans are going to let the Chiefs have it. 9-0 Chiefs coming in there, and they've ruined the Bills' season how many times now? Like
every year.
Every year since the Patriots, essentially. So 4 years running. So they're just going to let them fucking have it. We've been talking about this matchup for like 3 or 4 weeks now, right?
Yeah.
It's not that cold. It's going to be 55.
Doesn't matter.
No. Who cares?
So
Buffalo's favored, dude. Vegas is taking Buffalo. I'm taking Buffalo. They have to be the fucking ones that win. Please, for the love
I'm taking
of
Buffalo,
Jesus.
And this might be prime pickings for Sean.
Fuck. Well, I already wrote in the Bills.
Oh, so you're picking the Bills.
It's done. All right.
For me, but I'm gonna. But I don't. Can we put our three person kibosh on this game? I think that's bad karma going into it.
Kind of, but whatever.
If we sweep it, you don't care. All right, I'm going Bills then.
Give a shit. I mean,
let's go Bills.
They only have. It's getting dicey. Once they play the Bills, they have the Panthers, Raiders, Chargers, Browns, and then end out with Texans, Steelers, Broncos. So Texans, Steelers, Broncos could, those are up for debate. The other ones,
that's the Chiefs schedule.
That's their remainder. It's not as strong as you'd like to see.
No, it's not that strong. Let's go Bills. The Bills always play them tough.
They
I mean,
do.
it goes
They
up
do.
like last year they got the win, that controversial ending to that
It's a
game.
meaningful game because
Yeah,
they're
Huge,
probably
dude.
going to see each other again. Um, I would say, especially with the way
Yeah.
The Texans are playing. I mean, maybe you throw the Ravens in there. Right
I'd put
now,
the Ravens in there. Yeah.
these are, I would say, the two best teams
Yeah.
because the Ravens have that deficiency in the pass defense.
Right.
Um,
Matt Milano is going to come back as well this year. Not for this game, most likely, but they're opening his practice window. That changes that defense entirely
You
for
know,
the Bills.
this is the game. This is like the Bills Super Bowl. You know, they always look for this game. They gotta pull some stops out. They
the Bills
really gotta figure some shit out for this one.
Bills have been winning, but it hasn't been impressive, and it hasn't been
No.
statistically impressive. It's the 14th ranked offense, which you would
What?
expect to be in the top five,
Right.
and it's the 18th ranked defense, which is maybe slightly better than I was anticipating because
Yeah.
they lost a lot of pieces.
But
So
you're right. They're kind of middle of the pack, but
yeah,
8-2.
8-2.
Sounds a lot like the Chiefs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
that's going to be a hell of a game. Mark your calendars, block it off. That's going to be one kick-ass game. Sunday night, after that, the Bengals going to LA to take on the Chargers.
It's a fun game.
That's a great.
Bengals are fighting for their lives right now, 4-6. Bengals defense
Not good.
is concerning. Their passing offense seems like it at times can make up for it. The Chargers play that conservative style. Don't beat ourselves, control the ball. It's I would say the style of game lends itself to the Chargers in this one, but I think the Bengals have so much to fight for that I'm going to take them.
Well, all right. I'm gonna go Chargers. Harbaugh all the way. Seize the day. He's gonna be all amped up. I think the Chargers have been playing good football, so
This is a
they're onto
toss up.
something.
It's a toss up for me, honestly. I think I'm gonna go Bengals. I want to go Chargers. I'm going Bengals, but
All right.
Bengals, there we are. And
because
then
I really
Monday
don't feel
night,
like their home field is a home field.
No, it's
no,
not really an advantage.
but I don't know how much the Bengals travel their fans.
I
I
just
feel
think
like,
it's like, will it even sell out? It should sell out. It's a good game, but
yeah, it's Sunday night. They probably will.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I feel like the Bengals just have enough to play for.
Tickets
Chargers
are
are
as low
favored
as
by one.
$41 for whoever wants to go.
Jeez, holy cow. All right. And now we got the Battle of Texas $35 tickets for the Texans and the Cowboys. Cowboys without Dak for the remainder of the year. Texans I mean, they don't even need it. That's the thing. You look at their division, the Texans have
They're already in.
they're basically in. I mean, they
It's
have a
not
2 game lead, and the Colts are falling apart, and the Titans and Jaguars are cellar
are
dwellers.
done.
So
I'm hoping
they,
I want to see Will Anderson dress and fucking go ape shit on this team. I like Houston.
me too.
I mean,
I think they kick the shit out of them.
yeah, I think it's a
I don't care
bloodbath.
that
I
it's
think
in Dallas. Go into that fucking stadium and embarrass them. I love it. Jerry Jones needs to eat some fucking humble pie, man. I don't like it. I don't like the shit he's been saying.
yeah, I'm going Houston. I mean,
All right, across the
how
board.
how can you pick freaking Dallas right now?
The only
You
time
know?
you could take Dallas is if they were going to play the Giants. Then I'd think long and hard about it.
Yeah, maybe the Jags too,
Yeah,
but
But
Pats maybe.
yeah,
I don't
maybe
know,
tech.
dude. I might pick the Pats if
I'd
they
pick the
played the
Pats.
Cowboys.
I think I would.
Mac Jones led Jags and the Giants are the only two teams I'd be like, yeah, they probably win.
Yeah,
Chicago
very
looks pretty
true.
bad right now too.
You're right, Chicago. Put them on the list for right now. If they had them next week, yeah.
Wow. Caleb Williams, 9 weeks in the league, already fired offensive coordinator.
Well, not only that, dude, like the gauntlet they're going through, it's just going to get considerably worse for them. They are not even close to the bottom
I am
because
not
they
in
just
any
got beat.
way out on Caleb Williams. I think he's going to be a good player.
No, I
Like
mean it's not his fault. That's what is happening is not his fault. But they just got their asses kicked by a mediocre team and a really bad team, and now they're
at
going
home.
to at home. Now they're going to play the best teams in the league for the next 8 weeks.
I know they're
Like
fucked.
you're
Ugh.
fucked.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Their whole coaching staff's going to be out by week 16.
I'm surprised they fucking didn't get Eberflus out, man.
Nobody's going to last. It's all right. It's just a matter of time at this point.
The dominoes are starting to fall.
Foregone conclusion.
Man, this is going to be one hell of a week 11. We got a great Thursday night game. We got Ravens, Steelers, Chiefs, Bills. I mean, it's going to be fantastic week.
Bengals, Chargers, Ravens, Steelers. I like all these games. Not all of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun games.
Indy Jets, you can keep that one. But
there's enough to keep you entertained the entire time.
Atlanta, Denver. That's a fun fucking game, dude. Like
it is.
I don't know.
Hell yeah.
It'll be good.
Well, we'll see.
Seahawks, good game.
We'll see if the Pats can put together a little winning streak here. Get Drake May his first victory.
2 games in a row, huh?
That'd be something.
I would like that, man.
That'd be something. Let's keep him upright. Keep him throwing to Kayshon Boutte, and let's get another W.
Yeah.
And with that, we will wrap up the show for this week. Thank you all for listening. Please subscribe, rate, and review to support the podcast, and we'll be back next week.
All right, guys. See ya.
Adios.